Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. I am Gloria Atta. Welcome. A University of Lagos Dawn is calling for tougher measures against betrayal within Nigeria's armed forces. Professor David Aworawo of the Department of International Relations and Strategic Studies says any military officer found sympathizing or collaborating with Boko Haram should be treated as a terrorist. Speaking during a live interview on national television this Friday, Professor Aworawo expressed deep concern over reports that some soldiers have lost their lives due to the complicity of fellow officers working secretly with insurgents. He described such actions as a national disgrace and urged the federal government and military authorities to root out internal sabotage threatening the war against terrorism. The professor insisted that loyalty to the Nigerian state must remain non-negotiable, adding that those who aid the enemy, no matter their rank, must face the full weight of the law. And in Abuja, Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court has fixed November 20th for judgment in the terrorism charges brought by the federal government against the Biafra Nation agitator Nnamdi Kanu. The judge fixed the date this Friday following the blunt refusal of Kanu to open his defense, as he had on several occasions indicated. Kanu, who had earlier filed a motion on Friday, challenged his trial on the ground that terrorism was no longer an offense in Nigeria as at today. He claimed that the earlier Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act had been repealed, and as such, there are no valid charges against him. Meanwhile, the Delta State Police Command says it has recorded a significant breakthrough in its fight against crime. Presenting the command scorecard for the month of October before journalists, Commissioner of Police CP Abaniwanda Olufemi revealed that over 70 suspects were arrested, 500 rounds of ammunition and 13 firearms recovered, and the sum of 4.1 million naira ransom was retrieved. Clearview News, Imefono Kon has the details.
During the presentation at the police headquarters in Asaba, the state capital, the Delta State Commissioner of Police, CB Abaniwanda, said the achievement was as a result of intelligence-driven policing and sustained community collaboration.
A female arms runner was coming from Kaduna to Delta State, to Warri to be precise, to come and pick arms for bandits in Kaduna. They were tracked after about 24 hours of continuous sleepless night by operative of the CP Special Assignment Team. The lady was picked up, and a suspected gun runner was picked up in Warri. And then further intelligence and interrogation led to the recovery of one AK-47 rifle and a bag containing 115 rounds. Number of firearms recovered in the month of October 2025, 13 firearms, including 2 AK-47 rifles. Number of ammunition and cartridges recovered, 591 rounds. Number of kidnapped victims rescued, 5. Total number of suspects arrested, 77. Number of recovered vehicles, 3. Total number of ransom money recovered from kidnappers, 4,100,000 naira.
The police boss emphasized the importance of intelligence-driven policing.
The incident that took us to Ihiala in Anambra was as a result of our coordination and collaboration with some responsible citizens who gave us all the relevant information that we needed. And that is also what led to the recovery of the ransom money from those individuals.
CB Abaniwanda reaffirmed the command's dedication to sustaining peace while calling on community leaders and youth groups to partner with the police in maintaining law and order across the states. Imefono Kon reporting for Clearview News.
And in sports, controversy is brewing ahead of next week's World Cup playoff in Morocco, as the Nigeria Football Federation says it will formally protest FIFA's choice of match referee for the Super Eagles' crucial clash against Gabon. In a move that has angered football officials, FIFA has appointed South Africa's Tom Agbongile as the center referee for the November 13 showdown, the opening game in the four-nation African playoff series. Speaking anonymously, sources within the NFF described the decision as suspicious, suggesting there may be attempts within FIFA to frustrate Nigeria's chances of qualifying for the 2026 World Cup. Meanwhile, the NFF's advanced team is set to depart for Morocco this Saturday to make final arrangements ahead of the players' arrival between Sunday and Monday. With emotions high and the stakes even higher, all eyes now turn to Rabat, where the Super Eagles will look to rise above the controversy and begin their World Cup quest on a winning note. The election of Zoran Mamdani, a 34-year-old democratic socialist and Ugandan-born lawmaker, has sparked both celebration and controversy. Mamdani's victory marks a series of historic firsts: the first Muslim, the first South Asian, and the youngest mayor to lead New York City in more than a century. While supporters hail it as a bold step toward inclusion and change, critics warn it could reshape the city's politics in unpredictable ways. A foreign correspondent, Florence Joshua, weighs in on the controversy surrounding this historic election.
Thank you, Gloria, for having me. So, Zoran Mamdani, the New York City mayor, his winning has created a political shift in New York. And he also has a cultural tone to it. So at just 34 years old, he embodies what we call the generational change in leadership. He speaks the language of the Gen Zs. That's why he's loved by young people. Because, there's a lot of activism, there's inclusion, and there's equity. His politics are unapologetically left-wing, in the sense that he calls himself a democratic socialist. But his critics, of course, led by President Donald Trump, he labeled him a communist. Trump argues that his economic vision will push businesses out of New York. Trump actually called him a socialist experiment. But to many New Yorkers, of course, mostly young people, the label doesn't stick. They see him as a radical. They see him as a reformer, a man trying to tackle their rent affordability crisis, mostly driven by working class families out of the city for decades. So what also makes him different is that his policies and his perspective. So a man born in Uganda, to Indian parents, married to a Syrian American, raised between these continents, and he's deeply connected to New York, the multicultural fabric. He's also a heavy critic of the killings in Palestine by Israelis. So he represents a city that is as global and is also local. His platform of rent control, free public transit, and higher taxes for the wealth, reflect the frustrations of younger New Yorkers. Yeah, of course, they are tired of the status quo. They are tired of they are tired of a lot of economic issues in New York. Still, so business leaders are very careful. Conservative voices are worried, they are alarmed, and even some people within his own party system are worried that his manifesto, his dreams are a bit too ambitious for him. But whether you love him or you hate him, his win is a generational statement. It tells us that the era of polished, middle-aged career politicians are giving way there's a new kind of leadership. It's digital, it's direct, it's deeply ideological. So he is not just New York's mayor. He's the face currently of a political awakening that's challenging what power looks like in the 21st century America.
And that's the news. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clearview News Desk, or via our handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online. Many thanks for watching. I am Gloria Atta, and bye for now.